tricked you. I'm not going all the way to 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to League of Cinephiles. Welcome to Guy and Helmer, unfiltered but kind of filtered. I'm your host, Alex Helmer. With me is my co-host, Guy. Guy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing terrific, Alex. How are you?
I'm doing great. And with us, we have a very special guest from Math Teacher Movies and Guy at the Movies. It is Sean. Sean, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. I decided to name my cock Macho, and so I'm ready to... For anyone out of context, that is a...
We're not even a minute in!
Oh, my God.
I'm so sorry. I had to...
Dude, it's okay. It's called Guy and Helmer Unfiltered. You're fine.
I guess I'm unfiltered as well.
Yes.
All right, so we have a ton of great movie news to bring you today, as well as some other news that might not be on the agenda. But anyways, let's get started. Well, actually, before we get started, Sean, why don't you just tell the audience real quick what you do on your Instagram, what you do at Guide the Movies, that kind of stuff.
Thank you so much. So on Instagram, first of all, thank you for having me. I decided to be inflammatory at the beginning, besides like being showing gratitude. So on Instagram, it's Math Teacher Movies, where I review movies of the past and present, and then TV shows of the past and present. I also do Final Shot Fridays, Monologue Mondays, and What the Oscars Got Wrong Wednesdays, which is always my most popular topic. So that's pretty much what I do. Over at Guy at the Movies, definitely follow my buddy Joe on Instagram as well, Guy at the Movies. We have the Guy at the Movies podcast with Joe and Sean, and I also do Awards Watch, a column every Monday where I talk about everything movie and TV awards.
Awesome. So that out of the way, now let's get to the movie news. Again, we have a ton of stuff. We're going to start with what's new. We actually had 3 big trailers that came out. We're going to start off with the Hawkeye trailer. The newest MCU show, the first MCU show to release after the anomaly that was Loki. So, Guy, I'll get started with you because you're the comic book guy here. What did you think of the trailer for Hawkeye?
I thought it was awesome. I mean, I actually really enjoyed it. Like, I really liked it. Alex, I know you think differently, but I really loved it.
I'm just crossing my arms.
I'm like, Hallmark's making great Marvel movies, guys. No, I'm kidding. But, like, it's like, it's a good... You know, I needed something like that on the day it came out, and I really enjoyed it. Like seeing that, you know, I am a Jew, but I love Christmas-style movies. Home Alone's a great movie, you know, and it's just like that Hawkeye trailer had that vibe that I love a lot. Like in that, it was fun, and it was actually really funny too when he fell off the rope and he was falling. And he most likely had a fatal wound. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Well, I'll sort of step in and, follow that wave as I enjoy this as well. I mean, this like just feels like the Lethal Weapon, Shane Black, Christmas action comedies, which we can always just genuinely love. This highlights a lot of from what I've heard, I am unfortunately not a comic book expert, but this has a lot of the Hawkeye is human. And so, like, you know, you see the ice packs on his face. You see several different moments here. Now, where I get negative slightly, and I'm still okay with this, but
yes,
Jeremy Renner is not exactly the like the most fun, funny, charismatic. He had his moment in Ultron, but he sort of is going to be a little bit difficult to. I'm not going to say root for, but I don't know if he has the fun that he usually has. And at the same time, though, Haley Steinfeld's coming in.
She's great.
She's going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of making us laugh and making us smile. I have like great hope for her going in there. I think this is going to be a situation where it's a baton pass. I think, I don't know if Renner wants out or not, but it seems like this is going, hopefully.
It's going there.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
It's where it's the direction, which is fine. You know, Hawkeye should spend more time with his family anyway.
Please, family. I felt so bad for them. It's like, for the love of God, go back to you guys. They all got snapped. Go back to them.
Yeah, your father is a murderer. No, sorry.
Real large body count.
Yeah.
I wonder if they reckon with the really large body count while they decorate the tree. That could get tricky.
There was one thing which Alex is going to go through. And this is actually, I have this similar hesitation, is that it does seem like he's like totally transitioned back to normal as a guy, which when I saw the trailer, I kept thinking of that scene in Endgame where Rhodey's like, "Oh my God, you should have seen those bodies. It was just awful." And I'm just like, it was like in my brain, like in rerun when I was watching the trailer. I'm like, Jesus.
The bodies. the twist at the end is that in their house the bodies are like under the floorboards or something.
Oh,
like,
Jesus
it's gonna be
Christ.
like a serial killer or something.
Jesus.
I don't know. But anyways, okay, so my thoughts on the trailer. So the trailer dropped when I was in class, and I saw a guy put on his Instagram. Luke reviews on his Instagram. They were like, "This is amazing. This is you know MCU at its height." And then I saw it. I got back and I saw it. I'm like, "Oh my God, this is so terrible." Like, I saw. Okay, so let me also just say, my favorite movie pundit is a guy named John Campea. He has a podcast called The John Campea Show. I watch it like every day.
He's known.
And so everybody else was loving this trailer. And then I heard his podcast and he was like, "Yeah, I did. I feel like I was the only guy who didn't like it." And I'm like, "Thank you. Somebody else on this damn earth didn't like it." And his reasoning for not liking it is the exact same reasoning that I didn't like it for. So first of all, like Guy mentioned, at the end of Endgame, Hawkeye's in a really terrible place, right? His family died. He saw them die. He saw them disappear, right? And then he goes and becomes like an assassin. He kills God knows how many people. Right? For 5 years, this happens. And then his best friend, his sister, she doesn't just die. He sees her die.
Oh, Jesus.
He sees her die.
Let's go.
And then in this trailer, he's just like, "Oh, whoop-de-doo. I'm going to have fun with my family, Christmas time, presents under the tree." I'm like, "Oh, come on. This is ridiculous." I thought it was such a departure from how they set up Hawkeye previously. How they ended with Hawkeye in Endgame. Again, I love Christmas stuff. I like Christmas movies. I love anything Christmas. But at the same time, this is not the right place, in my opinion, to insert such a happy, humorous tone into the MCU. And also, this is everything that a lot of fans, specifically like DC fans, complain about Marvel in a trailer. This is 2 minutes of just like what a lot of people hate about the MCU. Like all the misplaced jokes are in this trailer.
Can I play Mephisto's advocate for a second?
Of course.
I think you are right. That's true that he's he got over something horrific and, it's a little bit difficult to get over it mentally and, let's argue legally. But I will say that our series so far, all of our Marvel series have been about blatant racism, the unraveling of the time and space in all situations, and the death of a loved one, and causing you to imprison the town to keep that love, the projection of that love.
I agree with Sean.
So, or also animated characters ending the world every goddamn week. So I'm thinking that let's get some happiness in here for once.
I agree. Like, I never really felt like there were any fun trailers. Like, when you look at all those TV show trailers, none of them are fun. You know? I mean, yeah, WandaVision had, like, the fun throwback music, but, like, that wasn't fun. You knew there was something
Winter Soldier
wrong
was basically a comedy. Falcon Winter Soldier was pretty comedic. I mean, I'm talking about the trailer specifically, not the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
a little banter, yeah.
I forgot what the trailer was like, but I honestly feel a good amount of those trailers are usually very dark. And I actually like the transition to something like...
I have a feeling, again, this is just a trailer. Like, I don't want to get too wound up. Like, I'll probably like the show. It's Disney. It's the MCU. So I'll probably like it.
I'm hyped if Kingpin's in it. Just like...
Yeah.
It's going to be dope.
I just don't want the Yakuza to be, the villain of the show. Because, the Yakuza is like the default villain for a lot of... Like, it was in Daredevil a lot. I'm a huge Daredevil fan, and I don't really want the Yakuza to come back, even though they were awesome, and that blind lady was really cool. So let's get to the next trailer release. We saw West Side Story. Sean, I'll start with you on this one. What did you think of the new West Side Story trailer? Of course, this is Spielberg's first movie since Ready Player One back in, I want to say, 2018. So what did you think of this newest trailer?
I've had many internal struggles in my life. One of them is the daily one. One of them is the daily one of which is going to win today, depression or anxiety. And then if I go to the next one, it's going to be is this okay to do? This like remake of a classic. And I'm telling you, if any other director was remaking West Side Story, they'd be burning the studio down. Cinephiles would be marching towards there. It's insane that everyone's just accepting this. They're just like cool with it. It's like, oh yeah, we're remaking a Best Picture winner that is like kind of buzzed about to be the Best Picture winner this year. And I'm trying to like put a handle on that and try to wonder if that's going to be something that's possible. That all being said, this looks beautiful. This looks absolutely wonderful. Like that, this most recent trailer, the first trailer looked great. And that was the one that was shown during the Oscars where I'm like, pretty solid, pretty good. This one continues to look great. We have Tony Kushner in there. We thankfully have people playing the ethnicities that they should be playing, which is like really proper and really something that's very important that was not done in the original West Side Story. I like the original West Side Story. I don't love it, so I'm not like as loyal as I can possibly be. It just is very strange that the legacy is just like, oh yeah, no, cool, let's remake this all-time classic, and we're all on board with it, which I guess I am now. I mean, another part of it is Tony Kushner is doing the screenplay, and it's like, okay, there we go. Like, I'm in. So I'm in on this, but I'm still one of these people that are like, why are other people also in on this? Like, there should be a large amount of people mad that a remake is happening of this movie. But hey, if I'm not mad, then other people aren't mad, and I guess we're all cool with it.
Yeah, I'm on record saying multiple times I actually don't like the original at all. I'm really not a fan. But this movie does look a bit promising. That being said, I wish Spielberg, we only have, I don't know how many movies left before he, decides, I don't want to make any movies anymore. He's in his late 70s. So is his time better spent making something else rather than remaking like a classic? Like, this is not like Nightmare Alley where like nobody even saw the original. We're going to get to that, but like nobody even saw the original. Like, this is, like Sean said, this is West Side Story, AFI Top 100. I think it's like 7, 8 Oscars, still
it's
buzzed
one of
about
Sondheim's
movie.
best.
Yeah. And so, but the trailer does look promising. I want to see more from it. I'm curious to see what the big change, or if there are going to be any big changes in regards to like how it compares to the original. If Spielberg decides to go into any different directions, if the runtime is going to be shorter than the last one. So we'll see. Guy, what did you think of the trailer?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it. Damn it.
I didn't see it.
Okay,
Look,
that's actually
wait, hold on. In my defense, I've been busy. I'm not going into what I've been busy with, but I've been busy.
So that's actually good because we can get to the third trailer.
So we're watching the Hawkeye trailer.
We're going to get to Nightmare Alley.
The West Side Story.
Nightmare Alley, which is, of course, Guillermo del Toro's new movie. This glorious poster was just brought to us, I believe, yesterday or when the trailer dropped. You can see, they have the cast list, and then you have Man or Beast, which is a very interesting concept, knowing Guillermo del Toro.
If you're gonna put a poster over something,
oh my god, Jesus Christ. Jesus
I realize I'm never good as an audio medium, and that's just unfortunate.
There's an audience. What is happening here? They can see us visually?
They can see us visually live?
So, Man
finish
or Beast?
up. Tell us when you finish. Oh, Jesus.
Sorry. So let me just
tell
cover
us when you
Sean
finish
real
up,
quick.
and we'll take down the poster.
So, but yes, the subtitle is Man or Beast. I saw this trailer. I'm anticipating this film highly. I just saw Kronos actually last month, which was Guillermo's directorial debut, and I really loved it. I'm a big fan. And this trailer looks absolutely magnificent. Like, I'm talking about one of the best trailers I've seen all year. Up there with Gucci is one of my favorites I've seen as of recently. This film looks phenomenal to me. It's like a mix of like, I don't know, like film noir, Double Indemnity, like Billy Wilder classics with like Guillermo's more fantastical style. I thought it was glorious. I love the colors. I love Willem Dafoe's lighthouse-esque narration.
Yeah.
So I have no idea really what it's about, but at the same time, I'm really, really intrigued. Cinematography looks beautiful. Score. It had, again, like this fantastical feel within the confines of like a noir. So I love this trailer. Sean, I'll go to you next. What do you think?
I mean, when it comes to Del Toro, you know you're getting something visually stunning, and like visually creative in every way. I argue, his Oscar for Shape of Water. I mean, I wanted others to win it that year. I was I still thought it was good, but still a beautiful film. And so we're getting a beautiful film. I never, and this is going to be a lot of movies coming out this year and coming out soon, is like, I don't trust good casts. I don't know if this is this weird thing about me, but when you have casts that are like gigantic and stuff, I wonder.
Look at Cats.
Well, yeah. But that cast was released while that trailer was happening, so I was screaming while it said Idris Elba. I'm like, oh my god! But Nightmare Alley, like, when they started listing the names, I was like, okay, right on. These are all great people. I want to see them here. Are they all going to be given a proper send-off? And if they are, then is it going to be a cohesive enough story where we're able to pay enough attention to a character? I mean, just to diverge quickly, but Don't Look Up scares the crap out of me. And people are saying it's good.
Me too.
So I'm excited. But like, it's like, like 700 actors and actresses are in this. And I'm like, that's not sustainable.
It's the Ariana Grande thing that scares me most, because that's the one I'm like, whoa, okay,
that's
now we're getting. Like Leo, sure. Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, all good there. Ariana Grande.
She gets the one Oscar nomination this year. That's my prediction. Just to piss everybody off.
But Guy, what do you think of the trailer?
I liked it. I saw it right before we went live. And I honestly just love the design, the visuals, the color grading, just like you said, the cinematography. When you have someone like Guillermo del Toro working on this, it's going to be great. That's all. I'm just super excited for this movie.
Yeah.
Usually I'm just into like more blockbustery stuff, but this looks amazing. This looks absolutely amazing.
Bradley Cooper looks really, really.
And also,
awesome
I love Bradley Cooper
really
as
cool.
an actor. I think he's terrific.
And then Cate Blanchett looks awesome. She's one of my favorite actresses, one of the best actresses in the world. Like up there with Meryl Streep, just in my opinion, like 1 and 2. But anyways, let's get to the big movie releases. We had 2 big movie releases I can't wait to talk about. So let's talk about the first one, Cry Macho, which Sean brilliantly referenced in the first 30 seconds of the show. Cry Macho, the newest and what I thought was going to be the last Clint Eastwood film. I mean, so we'll see. I hope it isn't. But at the same time,
he's probably like mad because
you said you recently saw Cry Macho. What did you think of Cry Macho?
So here, this is like my nightmare though, because I literally just came out of watching Cry Macho on the TV outside, and this is why I go see movies alone, because otherwise, when you see it with someone, there's that silence and that game of chicken where the two of you are just like, which one is gonna say, "So what'd you think?" It's like I can't think about it. I'm throwing out half of the popcorn because I got distracted, and now you're just gonna say, "So what do you think?" And so now I'm doing that to myself right now. I will say, we need to remember that this is Clint Eastwood. Yeah. And so Clint Eastwood has this terrific and fun and gritty presence even at 91. And it still shows through the 91-year-old body and face that he's exhibiting on the screen. Yes. Then also I think about his direction, where this is a visually pleasing movie. This does look really great. And I'm looking at, with that poster now, A Story of Being Lost and Found. I want to throw that poster in the garbage. That's the worst tagline I've ever seen. But I'm sure Eastwood had
Lost and Found.
Yeah, Lost and Found. He found a sweater. But
and a hat.
A lovely hat.
That's so mean.
I will say, like, what this comes through is a simple premise. He, he's going to pick up someone's son over the Mexican border, and he's going to bring him back. Obstacles occur. Car breaks down. They're at a village for a while. That's like the majority of the film, and it's like the heart of the movie. It's a simple premise. There's a little bit of leapfrogging over some various things, which that's very Eastwood, 2 takes and lunch. Like that's his move. That doesn't help young actors. The young actor he's with, the young boy, I think he's very good. I think he could have used some Fincher takes and, give him 50. And I think that was needed, but you still get something great out of Eastwood here, both in the performance and in the direction. And I'm a little bit pleasantly surprised. I mean, there's a lot of his stuff where, you know, you just argued like possibly his last movie and stuff, but you know, his swan song was Unforgiven in 1992. Everyone said it's the perfect cap on his career. And here we are 28 years later, and the guy does not quit. Like, it's just like I should in 1992. I wish I was a time traveler. I was like, no, he's gonna make Jersey Boys. You're gonna love it.
15, 17 to Paris, you know.
Oh.
but then there's $1 Million Baby. You know, it's not all.
There's $1 Million Baby. There's some great stuff in there in between. Mystic River. You have like, so he like, you know, good thing he didn't. Not that he was planning on quitting at 92, but it did seem like he was like, I'm putting a cap on the Western. This is it. This does seem like that as well. This seems like his whole like, you know, I'm putting a cap on what like, you know, my life has been, what my life used to be. It's great that like, it's what I was thinking is only a 91-year-old could direct this, and only a 91-year-old could star in that role. And it's because it's like, this is someone who has seen a lot of life.
Yeah. So I saw this movie yesterday. I'm a huge Clint Eastwood fan. He's one of my filmmaking role models, one of my favorite directors. We're lucky to have him, you know, at this stage in his life, not just, you know, like I said, existing, but making movies. No other director, I feel like, could make a movie at 90, 91 years. I think he's 91 years old. So that being said, also, like I said, huge fan. In film trivia, we have a round named after him called the Clint Eastwood round, okay? So that should say something about how much I adore this man. That being said, I thought this film was terrible. I really did not enjoy it.
You said not good yesterday, and now Eastwood, you've gone to terrible.
It's pretty. Let me just say this.
Is it bad?
Eastwood's pacing, it's pretty slow, but at the same time, his films have a really strong emotional core. Whether we're talking about $1 Million Baby, Bridges of Madison County, Unforgiven, all of them have a really, really strong emotional foundation that comes from the characters, the cinematography, the score, the visual, all of that. And then in this film, I felt the slow pacing was not warranted just because I didn't care about the characters. I thought there was no emotional foundation that I could grab onto. I thought his acting was fine. It was fine. I mean, it was his first feature film. So for his first feature, he did fine enough. But at the same time, I'm going to disagree a bit with Sean. I feel like this role should have gone to someone at least 15 years younger. And what I mean by that is that there's the scene where this, like, the boy's mom, who's like, I think around 45, I believe. She takes off her clothes, she gets on the bed, and she's basically asking Clint Eastwood's character to sleep with her.
That was a honey trap. She was not actually attracted to Clint Eastwood. As much as Clint Eastwood probably would want to believe that, but no, like that was her trying to mess with like him or try to get like, you know, something out of him. No,
okay, so you maybe I didn't grab onto the cues there. Maybe
that was my perspective from his character that I couldn't trust her. Like
then that makes a lot more sense.
I still get what you're saying though, because there are two women that are pining after him in this movie.
Yes.
If you argue one of them has other intentions.
Yeah. Okay. Now, that makes more sense. At the same time, he's painted to be this bachelor type guy. I mean, that's not the most important part of his character. At the same time, I thought his performance was really good, but there's also a scene where he like punches someone. There are multiple scenes where he's just like, ugh. I'm sorry.
The editing on the punch was just like classic 20s film. It was like you just see it go. There should have just been the Batman pow.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, as much as I love Clint, it's really difficult, understandably at 91, for him to move, to speak, and a lot of the film depends on his ability to do these things, to be a really like active actor in this sense of him saying his lines, and in the sense of him, you know, being able to pull off some of these action scenes. So yeah, it wasn't great. I was hoping for a better send-off for hopefully it's not his last film. At the same time, I was comparing this a lot to The Shootist, which was John Wayne's last film. He was dying of, I believe, like pancreatic cancer or something when he shot. And that was a film where John Wayne couldn't move really, but at the same time, he pulled off a lot of the stunts that Clint Eastwood couldn't pull off. Granted, he was, you know, in his 70s. Sean Wayne was in the 70s in that film. So I was comparing a lot to that film. So, but yeah, not one of my favorites of the year. Sean, any final thoughts before we move on?
Well, I just thought about, you mentioned the punch when it comes to the stunts. There were a few other stunts he did do. He went down and looked underneath the car. That was the most suspenseful moment of the movie. I'm like, oh shit,
he's gonna throw on his back.
I will say that the best moment was when they were like, oh yeah, we have to break these wild horses, and I was like, wait, how are they going to do that? And so it was this obvious stunt double.
Yeah.
I think it was a legal requirement to make that stunt double look obvious, so that they didn't get letters that they were trying to damage Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. When he said he was gonna ride the horse, I was like, "Oh boy, let's get going here."
No.
And they cut to a wide shot with like a shadowy like background. I'm like, "Okay."
Then it cuts
enough.
to him like, and the camera's spinning around him. It's like this is fun. It's fun. Like I feel like.
Okay, so let's move on now to the second release, The Eyes of Tammy Fay, which is I forgot who directed. The guy who directed The Big Sick. I'm forgetting. Michael Showalter. Okay, thank you. And it's basically a biopic on Tammy Faye and Jim Bakker, who were, I didn't know this was even a term, televangelists. And they were caught up in just fraud in general. And so it was just a bit basic biopic. I was able to see this at an early access screening on Tuesday. And I liked the film. I thought it was a good film. I thought that it follows a lot of the traditional biopic beats, like a lot of flashbacks, a lot like the start of the film is like later in her life, and then they go back to like her childhood. A lot of like, okay, she gets addicted to drugs now. Like you have like her succeeding at first, and then she encounters these obstacles. So it follows a lot of those beats, but at the same time, I liked it. There's a lot of energy there. They do skip a lot. Like the story is pretty long and they do skip a lot of it. However, I thought that the energy was great. The editing was really good. The performances, though, Andrew Garfield was great, but Jessica Chastain was absolutely amazing in this film. Maybe her best performance. Like, I'm not over the moon about Jessica Chastain. I think she's a perfectly fine actress. I'm just not somebody who goes to a movie for Jessica Chastain. But I thought she was amazing in this film. She brought a lot of electricity. This could have been a character that could become really annoying really quickly and someone who you really don't want to root for. But this film depends on her ability to bring like a empathy to this character, and that's exactly what she does. The makeup is great. Production design is great. Costumes are great. Come Oscar season, it's going to be a force to be reckoned with in those minor categories. Not necessarily best picture worthy, but in those minor stuff. Sean, what did you think of the film?
Well, I had a little bit more trouble with it, but pretty much almost pretty much agreeing with everything you said.
Yeah.
I think the issue that happened was the when they skipped over quite a few years at times, I think they sort of yada-yada'd over a lot of the crimes that were committed. And they also sort of made it unclear of whether or not, Tammy Faye really knew about these. Like, obviously, Andrew Garfield's character, Jim Bakker, knew about all of it. He was constructing all of it. He was doing quite a lot of bad stuff. But it's difficult to realize that she didn't know anything. She could have been that oblivious. It's possible at that time, especially, and they include a few scenes, but that construction was tricky for me. I had a little bit of a trouble. Like it was meant to be ambiguous, I believe, and I'm okay with that, but that was tricky. I think that there was a few of when they kept cutting the scenes, there was a few that felt a little bit slow for me. But there was still an energy and a fascination. I mean, the televangelist, boom, was the most fascinating thing in the world. Because now we look at it and we're just like, oh, a lot of them were just like, please give us the donations and everything. Like Oral Roberts literally said, give me millions of dollars or God's going to kill me. And they're it was and they did it. And he was good. And it was like, what? So, hey, the proof is in the pudding. But there was so many of those. And now it's we look at them and unfortunately, I think they're still going around and stuff, but it's not as frequent. It's a little bit more obvious now, but then it was more intense. I want to talk about two of the supporting performances. Cherry Jones.
Oh, yes. Succession star.
Succession star, pretty much just Google her and you're like, oh yeah, she was in that thing, because she is just ultimate character actress. But yes, definitely, I forgot she was in Succession. Oh my god, that makes me excited for that. Now she had to act through a bit of makeup as well. She plays what could have been just a one note kind of evil character, but she gives that depth. And then on the other end is good old Wilson Fisk, if he was a Baptist, Vincent D'Onofrio. And like it was a little bit of a tougher performance. I don't know if it's like exactly accurate towards the character, but it was just like him being like, I don't really like the gay people. And I'm just like, oh God, like I'm seeing this.
Yes,
it was way too difficult for me to take it away. But just to piggyback on what you said, just to say it again, I'm fairly confident this is Jessica Chastain's best performance. And that's nuts to say because it's heavily made up with a really heavy accent, and it's a kooky character. And so you think, well, that obviously in the wrong hands could go terrible. Even in the right hands could be misunderstood. And she manages to ground it so well, and you identify with that character throughout and sort of identify with the suffering she goes through. Oh man, really top notch. And Garfield is good as well. Not as great, but I mean that's tough to do. But he jumps into the character pretty solid.
Yeah, no, and it feels like Andrew Garfield's pulling off a new accent in every movie he's in nowadays. So, and it was great to see him in this physical type role. But I really want to piggyback on the Vincent D'Onofrio thing real quickly because first of all, your impression was top notch. I
love it. Great. I love his performance in Daredevil. I love it so much.
No, it's very similar. Both characters are.
I beat my father in with a hammer.
And I also love how they don't give him it passed. How many years does this go by? Like maybe 20 years. I have no idea. It starts in the 60s. They show him when Jim and Tammy were really young, and then they show them when they're older. And Vincent D'Onofrio's character did not age one bit. He's just the same guy. So I just thought that was a funny little thing. But anyways, let's move on to the TV releases. Guy, I'll let you start because we had a recent What If episode, of course.
Once again, what if it was good?
Let me just say one thing real quick. Agnolo was on here a couple weeks ago, and he said that we were quote unquote ungrateful because we didn't like this. After seeing this episode, I'm not sure that you could use that word anymore. Guy, what did you think of this?
It was awful. Travesty. I did not like it at all. It was just bad. We're gonna also talk about the last episode as well, but the one before it, the zombie one. These are not good. Particularly, in my opinion, I do not think this is worth. Look, it's fun to have more Marvel stuff. It is, and I am grateful that they're doing stuff. But I'd be more grateful if the quality was kept up. These episodes don't make sense in that I don't even know why or how Killmonger was put on a mission to go find the plans to how Tony Stark died. Makes no sense to me. And that's the beginning. It's just so unclear, where this even starts. And then the voice acting is really bad. I really cannot believe the Robert Downey Jr. impersonator. It's not good. No offense to who you are. You're probably a really nice guy.
Pitchforks.
You're probably a good guy.
Go to his house and burn it down.
But I'm sorry. It's not very good. And then Killmonger, who I actually really love as a character in the MCU, and I even liked him here, but the issue is, it's obvious that Michael Jordan is not used to, or Michael, is it Michael B? I'm so sorry. I'm so confused. Michael B. Jordan.
Might be
Michael
I think
B.
he's a
Jordan.
Basketball player.
Yeah, Michael Jordan, the best. I'm sorry, I get confused.
I'm not sure.
Michael Jordan acts with animated characters. Michael B. Jordan is voicing an animated character. That's how I remember.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean. Michael B. Jordan. I'm so sorry. Michael B. Jordan is not that great of a voice actor, and I understand it. But this is why we have voice actors. Is because actors can't do it. And it's something you really realize when you watch the show. And I don't know. It's just kind of, it was not good. It was bad.
Yeah.
Animation, once again, good. Jeffrey Wright, good. But everything else was just not good. Chadwick Boseman's good in the episode. That's it. And that's it.
Yeah. I'm going to disagree a bit with what you said. I do agree that actors, I don't know, real world actors who don't just do voice, they do both. They can pull off voice performances like we
Yes,
saw
they
with Scarlett
can.
Johansson and Her. Like it happens all the time. It's just a matter of how much they care, how much the studio cares about the project that these actors are signing up for.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm not sure that the actor Michael B. Jordan, I don't know how much he cared. I'm not sure how much Mark Ruffalo cared or Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm not sure. But that's not even the biggest problem. The dialogue is horrendous. So it's like you can have bad dialogue, you can have
And the
bad voice acting,
quippage.
but make sure it's only one of them. Make sure it's
Also, the
not. Make sure
quips
it's
aren't
one.
funny.
Don't have
Yeah.
both. Don't
Quips
have
are
both
not
bad.
funny.
No, it's not funny at all. It's a
And they
really
also put them
rushed. Yeah.
in the
They-
wrong time. They always
Yeah.
put the quip, especially here. It's not as noticeable in stuff like Shang-Chi, which was a great movie, by the way, and
Yeah.
like a lot of the MCU films. But in this show, the quippage is so noticeable, and they do it at the worst possible times, and it ruins
Yeah.
any heart or any moment in an episode. It's a real
Yeah.
problem with this show.
Yeah, so I this is probably my least favorite episode. I thought the premise to begin with was a bit.
The dialogue
it
was
was-
a
it
little
was-
better in this one, though. I'm gonna say the
I don't
dialogue
know. There was a lot
I-
of exposition, a ton of
Yes.
exposition. It was very
The
noticeable.
one other thing I didn't get was like, so wait, this guy comes here. He's probably there for a couple days. Lets Obadiah stay and live his life for like a few more days, and then's like, you're going to jail. Like I didn't understand that. I'm like, why don't you just turn him over now when you get home? It doesn't. It just didn't make any sense to me. I was like,
Yeah.
this guy could have killed Tony in those few days, and you're just letting him free. Just that's all. I didn't get that. That part just
Sean?
threw me off.
Of all of the Marvel properties that we have had, this is the finest bit of narrative. No, I won't lie. I'm not as bummed on it as you guys are. I enjoy the premises. I agree with what you say though. Some of the voice acting is pretty tough. And yeah, like some of the quips just feel like they're really like difficult to like handle.
Like
They're just,
hearing Michael
shooting.
Douglas in that episode.
Oh god, that was tough. Yeah,
It's
That was
like,
really
I was just
bad.
like,
my
my
god.
hands went to my face. I was like,
But I mean, I really like the ideas of all of these. I just think they're a little bit unrealized, and I'm fascinated by where they could go further. I almost like wonder if like the season 2 is going to have continuations, or some of these episodes are going to be continuations. I know some of them literally can't be for obvious reasons, but I wonder like the purpose of this. And the purpose of these comic books, as I'm meant to be understood, is they were all these separate things that were just like, hey, a fun thing, like what if, like, Doctor Strange did this, or what if this, and they weren't meant to go anywhere. They were just meant to like be like interest, like these like fun little explorations. And in the MCU or the Marvel situation that we're dealing with now, it's going to be like, no, we're going to turn these animated characters into real life characters, and it's going to get a little bit weird.
that annoys me because like you have the Marvel Netflix shows and they haven't really given them much.
Well, because
of
I mean,
anything.
well, they're not. Are they? Or like, I actually don't know this. Are they technically under the Disney umbrella? Like that might be the
Not exactly, but they
Yeah.
claim they are tied to the MCU, and they never really show it.
We'll
Hopefully
see
they'll
in
show it soon.
Spider-Man. We'll see.
We'll see.
Spider-Man.
We'll see in Spider-Man and Hawkeye, but I just feel
But so that was that episode. And then, Guy, did you quickly want to talk about the zombie episode because we didn't get to that last week?
Yes. Okay, this zombie episode. Don't watch it. I know a lot of you were excited about it. I've seen the message boards, and you all were like, Marvel Zombies. It's my favorite comic. And I'm like, yeah. Then I sat and watched it, and I was like, oh, no. I was like, I mean, Paul Rudd's head in a jar is fun, but like everything else, you're kind of.
Wait, Paul Ryan?
Paul Rudd.
Former,
Paul Rudd.
Oh,
not the
House
politician.
Minority Leader.
No,
House Majority
not Paul
Leader.
Ryan. Paul Ryan's head is in a jar in Marvel's What If. No, but we know you didn't do it, Sean. You don't have to put your hands up. No.
They find me in days.
No. But like there were certain things that were kind of cute. Like I like seeing. I don't know. I like Jon Favreau. So for some reason, I found it funny when Jon Favreau was in the episode. I was like, ha. But everything else, I was like, this is not very good. The Wasp, I mean, it was kind of cool, like that she was in it, but it just wasn't very good. And then Ruffalo was not good. Ruffalo was like bad.
I will say I sort of enjoyed that they like didn't do a superhero film and did a zombie film. And
Oh, yeah.
it was like that little like I felt like I was watching a Dawn of the Dead where they were picking off survivors. That was
exactly.
I
Kinda cool.
agree.
But
I agree with Sean. I agree with Sean. I love
last-
that part of it.
Can I just say one
Sorry.
thing?
Let me just.
Okay,
Yeah, sure.
totally. So here's the one thing I don't get. Where did Janet Van Dyne get the virus? Like, they could have just showed us where that happened. That's my big issue.
No, that's
is
not
that they don't show that stuff. I want to see it. I want to see her get bitten by the vampire, okay, or zombie. I want to see that happen so that then I understand where this came from.
Get bit by Blade. Blade's in there.
Yo!
Did we just solve Marvel? Did we just solve Marvel?
We just solved Marvel.
But going back to what Sean said, because I found that I agree 100%, like the Night of the Living Dead concept of just like a bunch of survivors, each getting picked off one by one. And I agree, except for the part where, again, going back to the quips, where you have like a quip every 2 seconds, and it makes me not care about the fact that they're dying one by one.
Also, I didn't like the new Spider-Man.
I would have loved so the concept was great. The way they carried it out was pretty good, but then in execution, you had again the quips, which unfortunately are a big part of why a lot of the dark stuff in the show doesn't work for me. So, and maybe the show, its target audience, are they going for kids? Are they going for? I guess they're trying to go for both.
They're going for us
demographics.
Yeah,
podcasters that talk about movies and TV. Come on,
yeah.
This is the target demographic.
So, and then we're quickly going to go to the next TV release, Only Murders in the Building. The first 3 episodes were released a couple weeks ago, and then 4 and 5 were just released. Sean, did you get a chance to watch 4 and 5? Or
I'm completely caught up. Yeah.
Okay, so you can start on this one because I haven't seen 5 yet.
I absolutely love this show. I really do. It's like, we could argue what it could be. It's a fun murder mystery. It's got the self-aware sort of comedy to it. I was genuinely worried about this show with Steve Martin and Martin Short because they can be, a bit much at times. I love them. They're legendary. But as they get older, they like, there was that Martin and Short special that I just really didn't.
On Netflix, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't go with me. And like it was the two of them, and I was like, oh, they're gonna do a little bit too much here, and they don't. They keep it like kind of like keep a little bit of a cap on it. They still bring out the comedy, they still bring out the silliness. They goof off, and then they riff. I think in the most recent episode, they riff quite a bit in the car, which is it's a stunning riff. And then I was just like, oh, and this is gonna have Selena Gomez too, and she has this great way to ground it and like kind of react to their ridiculousness. And she also has quite a bit to handle herself. And like, she's pretty good too. And the show is like taking on pretension while still maintaining a pretension in its own. And that's like something that I believe Portlandia did is like just as well in a very different style, but it was just like artisan cheese making fun of artisan cheese. And I think it's happening here with this one as well. And I'm here for it. I love the idea of all 3 of these characters. We also have Amy Ryan in there coming in once in a while, which, I want to see her in more things. She's got, she was able to calm down Michael Scott. She can do anything, but like so far I am absolutely loving this show.
Yeah, I'm liking it as well. I don't think I'm loving it as much as you, but I'm certainly keeping up with it. I'm a huge murder mystery guy. I talk about this often. I'm not a murder mystery podcast guy, more of the murder mystery movie guy. But anyways, I think this series is really fun. I love just the entire tone of it it's really cool. It's kind of like Woody Allen made a film called Manhattan Murder Mystery. It has that kind of tone a bit.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie.
And I love that movie, so I really like this show. Steve Martin is the same as he was in the 80s. It looks like he hasn't aged, number one, and his voice hasn't changed. He's moving around fine, which is great to see. So one thing, as a murder mystery fanatic, I have to, just a quick negative to get out of the way. What I look for in a good murder mystery is to care more about the individuals involved in the mystery in regards to, like, is it this person who murdered the guy? Is it this person? Is it this person? Like you have, like in Clue, you have all the suspects, for example. And in this show, it's not necessarily focused on there's not really like
Any
a group of suspects.
but the
Yeah, it's like
detectives
each
themselves.
episode, like they meet someone new, and it's like, oh, is this person the killer? I would have preferred it as if we had like a set group of suspects, and we can like solve the mystery along with our characters,
Like
and,
Orient
figure
Express?
out like who we think. Yes, exactly. Like who we
Okay.
like Agatha, classic Agatha Christie,
Or even
novel.
Knives Out.
So that's the quick, yeah. So that's one quick thing I need to get out of the way. But anyways, enjoying the series. It's on Hulu. Also important to state that it just got renewed for season 2, which is great to see.
That's good.
So yeah, so those are our
Now,
TV releases. Sorry,
I want to
Sean?
ask you a prediction for this.
Yes.
Do you think with the season 2 edition, do you think they're going to solve this mystery? Because they announced season 2.
Oh boy.
Is this going to be the killing situation where now that they have that season 2, are they going to bleed this bad boy, or are they going to try to do another murder mystery next season?
I don't think so, just because when the series first started, I'm not sure if they thought they were going to get renewed. And also, I feel like it would be cool if each season there's a different mystery or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's get on to our big stories. We spent a lot of time on those new releases. We had a lot
big stories.
lot of great stuff. So let's get to our big stories. Number one, we're going to start with good old Christopher Nolan. Nolan's next movie has been announced. It's going to be a biopic on John Oppenheimer, who obviously created the atomic bomb. Nolan is targeting, and it's also reported that he's going to Universal to make this movie instead of Warner Brothers. So like some big, Housewives of Beverly Hills-esque drama going on here. But anyways, Nolan is targeting an $100 million budget, which he considers smaller scale compared to his other projects. So, Sean, I'll get started with you. Are you excited for this project? What do you think of the news?
Well, I mean, Nolan's like those appointment directors that we look forward to. And I think that's a good thing and a bad thing, where, like everyone said Tenet was the greatest film a couple of weeks before Tenet was even released. And so it's like, I worry that this is the same thing. And, people get excited about something and then love it, before they even see it. And that's fine. Hey, be excited. Like, that's a good thing. I don't want to take that away. I like that, he's going back in time again. Oh God, I hope he doesn't deal with actual time, but he's going back in time in terms of like a period piece where he did it in Dunkirk, and it escapes me. I don't think there's any other period piece he has done. Where off the top of my head,
No.
I think you're
The
right.
Prestige was like a fake period piece.
Prestige a little bit, yeah, like wildly fantasical. That's not the word. But I would say that this, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to him to going in the past. I really I beg of him to please, like even Dunkirk had that weird thing where this took place over 2 weeks. This took place over 1 minute. This took place.
No.
Just do a linear story, buddy. Like I think he would do well with that. I think he's got the chips, the chops, the whatever you call them, to just do something a little bit more like relaxing and linear. So like I don't have to like be so frazzled. And yeah, it's good to challenge an audience, but I think that something like this, where it's complicated with its morals, it's, let's actually let's go with this character and let's dive into that. He can do it. I know he can.
Yeah. And also I agree with you, and coming off of Tenet, which is his most confusing, most non-linear film.
God.
This would, a linear story, like you mentioned, would be really, really, really refreshing. Cillian Murphy is also starring in the film. They haven't announced that he's playing Oppenheimer, which is weird. Maybe he plays someone else. So I don't know, Guy. What do you think of this news?
I'm excited. To be honest, he kind of looks like Christian Bale thin. The Oppenheimer. I could see Bale playing him.
Yeah, now
I could see Bale. When I saw the
that.
photo of Oppenheimer when this was announced, I was like, Bale could totally play him. I'm excited for this. I'm actually really, I think this would be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Now, let's get over to our next big story, Venom 2. The first reactions are in.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about some of these reactions because some of them are really funny. One guy says, Venom Let There Be Carnage is a frenzied mix of buddy movie, romance, and horror. It wastes no time getting down to business. Party's on fire, and Harrelson is Carnage. Do not miss the credits. Do not miss. And then on another review, somebody said, excuse my French, holy fuck, the post-credit scene. So what they're basically saying is, hey, we have to watch 90 minutes of movie, but the post-credit scene, that's the best. That's what I'm hearing here, which is great. People are liking the movie, but it's also concerning me that people are like, the end credit scene in their initial reviews.
Yeah.
I love the one guy's review was Woody Harrelson is Carnage. It's like, oh yeah, we know that.
No,
We
they're
had
asking
that.
what he is, so it's is Carnage.
Oh, okay. Like, I thought he was just like, like on IMDb, Woody Harrelson is Carnage.
This guy said favorite of the modern MCU films. Interesting. Telling a very human and very beautiful story. Wow. Yeah,
I'm not sure
so
he gets it.
I'm hearing, and also our good friend Ren Geekness, who's of course part of the league, he got to see it. I saw his initial Twitter reaction. He really liked it as well.
Oh, that's good.
He said it had a lot of energy to it. It's really fun. That's what I'm hearing from a lot of people, which is great to hear. Post-credit stuff, a little concerning. Sean and Guy, any final thoughts before we move on to the next big story?
90 minutes, hell yeah.
90 minutes, yeah. I mean, I like a short superhero film.
You know what?
But
make movies less than 2 hours again. Come on, people. Let's.
Yeah,
that's great.
They're pushing it now.
I'm sorry.
That's
everything.
not wrong. That's not wrong. But I gotta say, I am excited for this movie now. Now that I know that there are good reviews, I was very nervous about this movie, so now I'm a little more comfortable.
Well, get ready, because it's gonna get a total comparison to bad reviews. The first one did,
yes,
and this is but also the first one made a ton of money and got audience.
True.
And then Let There Be Carnage is probably gonna do that same thing, where it's gonna. Yeah. I'm assuming I'm gonna go into this movie just like I went into. Well, I watched the first one, but just how I perceived it is it was a narrative mess, and you go into the second one, and it could be it's gonna be the same sort of stuff where it's fun, but if we actually face the rubric of a movie, there's gonna be some tick marks on the low side, but still it's gonna be loved, and that's what's important, really.
Yeah,
for sure. So let's move on to the next big topic. It has been announced that Penguin is getting a spin-off show.
I'm so excited.
Colin Farrell will reprise his role, even though we haven't seen the role.
I know.
Guy, what do you think?
Oh my God! They're finally gonna do what Gotham did wrong. I mean, we'll
sorry,
see.
The picture is really pixely, but that's the only picture you could find on him. That's the only picture.
A second in the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, look at this guy. He's ready for more action beyond his movie. Okay, you see the intensity in his eyes.
I'm not sure, guy.
All right, he can just eat some prune juice, and then he's ready to go for the show.
Put a pebble in his stomach. That's what actual penguins do.
Yeah.
That's not scientific. I don't know.
I have to say, this intrigues me that they're doing shows for these characters. That gets me very excited. I love the show. Well, I loved past tense the show Gotham, and I liked what they wanted to do with it. Sorry, that wasn't me coughing and do not it's something like that. I actually had a cough. No, but I'm really excited for this because they have the GCPD show, they have the Penguin show. Apparently, there's potential of a Catwoman show from what I've heard. But these, I like that. I like that. Matt Reeves is building a universe. I think that's really cool.
For sure. And what I also find interesting is that this is also the second spin-off show they've announced. They of course announced the one on the GCPD, which I don't understand how you can make two separate shows about the Penguin, about the GCPD, and not make them tie into each other.
Yeah.
Because Penguin is like when he's committing crimes out there, who's gonna come after him? The GCPD. But the GCPD has their own show, so what are they off doing?
Or maybe that's fair. I can't.
This is a little bit when you have the basic or not the the NBC shows where it's Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, and Chicago Police, and it's just then all of a sudden it's the ultimate crossover episode, and I'm that's just dialing 911.
Exactly. Exactly.
You don't think they wave occasionally? It's we're all going to be in the same place a lot.
Jesus.
Yeah, and again, I'm excited for this.
But who knows? They might be doing. I just want to say they might be doing some really cool stuff. Who knows? They might put the bottle in his eye in this show. There could be some cool stuff going on. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and DC is the king of announcing spin-off shows before their movies actually come out.
It's also one other thing. He might, because from what I've heard, he's not in the movie that much. So this is most likely where they can get into that wiggle room where they can actually explore the character, give him some depth. So I really appreciate that they want to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so
Alex, you go.
No problem. Let's get over to our final main topic. Some sad news, actually. So Norm Macdonald, the great Norm Macdonald. A lot of you guys saw him on SNL. I know Guy saw him on the Norm Macdonald show, which I wasn't aware of before you talked to me about it. I knew him from a small ABC show called The Middle, which I guarantee you guys haven't heard of.
I've seen a few eps. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that was my childhood show. It was my favorite sitcom for a while. And so that's what I was familiar with him with. I loved him in that show. And he died, I believe he was 61.
61. He had cancer for 9 years.
Yeah, it's cancer. So, Guy, I'm going to go to you first. So, just kind of recap to everybody what his legacy is going to leave behind, some of the work you enjoyed from Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald was not afraid to tell a joke that no one else. Norm Macdonald only wanted to tell jokes Norm Macdonald liked, and I think that's what really did him. Like, I think that's what made him a legend. You know, in SNL in the 90s, which is when he was on SNL, he was really he went after O.J. Simpson a lot, and he got fired for it because the president of NBC, was friends with OJ and was like, you need to stop making OJ jokes. He's like, no, this guy killed someone. I'm going to make a joke about him. And so, like, he defied everyone. And I mean, he just is an incredible, he has such a great legacy in humor in that he wasn't afraid to kind of back down. He's really, he's just one of a kind. He also, like, if you've seen like him on Conan or Letterman, so funny. The interview where Conan's doing with Courtney Thorne-Smith and you have Norm Macdonald there is one of the funniest interviews in talk show history. I mean, he was brilliant, Sean.
Like, just absolute, like, exactly what you're saying. And upon hearing about his news, I just immediately cooked up a few like YouTube videos that I always use when I'm feeling like bummed or something like that. Him talking about the Crocodile Hunter on Jon Stewart, him ruining promos for Conan's. Like, it's not even like it's a behind the scenes thing.
Yes.
And he's ruining promos for it. His portion of the roast of Bob Saget.
That's so good.
It's unbelievable because he doesn't plan on getting laughed at. He doesn't plan on anyone laughing. And when no one laughs, he holds it for a really tough time, like a very long time, until you realize how naturally funny he is. I will notice that I watched a few of the YouTube videos after I heard of his death, and obviously I was was sad when I heard of it, but that all went away immediately the moment I started watching them, and I just started laughing. And I was not sad for 1 second watching those YouTube videos. There's the unfortunate tragedy that now there's no one here to tell a too soon joke about Norm Macdonald's death, because Norm Macdonald is the only one to tell a too soon joke. Yeah, exactly. He's the only one to actually do that kind of stuff, which he did, quite a bit. And everything he did just felt natural, even though, obviously when it comes to a comedian, it's like made in a lab and, just used several times and turned through, but it was just effortless. And there was this way that he would just take it over the line.
Pauses.
Like it was this pause. He would tell a great joke that would get everyone laughing and then add two more to it. And it would just be, that would be the ultimate knockout punch that wasn't needed, but was just elevating it to this certain level. And just all of that was like you're getting a delivery from someone who does not care.
No, he does not. He also, his shtick, like the way he talked. I mean, it's just everything. Like the way he acted like an old timey guy. It's like on Conan. It's so funny. I was watching this last night, and during COVID, actually, one day I just watched all these Norm Macdonald videos because I just was like, this guy is brilliant. But this one where he's like, my wife of mine, she's a real battle axe. And you're like, what? It's like, who says that? It just doesn't make any sense. And it's so funny. It's just, he will be missed. May his memory be a blessing.
For sure. So those are going to be our main topics. We're now going to get on to the last segment of the show, Buy or Sell. We're going to go over the smaller pieces of movie and TV news that released over the week. And we're going to talk about if we would buy that news and if we would sell that news. So let's start off with the first piece of news. Succession Season 3 finalized a release date of October 17th. We have a we had a teaser trailer. We had the first official trailer. Sean, what do you think?
Pardon the football reference, but Succession is literally like a Tom Brady, where it's like every year we're like, is it going to be good this year too? Is it going to be good this year too? And then it just keeps on being good. And I know nobody likes Tom Brady, but in this situation, like Succession just keeps on being good. Now this is just like they're packing up the stars. So I have this little voice in the back of my head saying like, is this actually going to be good? Is this actually going to be good? And I watched the most recent trailer and I'm like, oh, I don't even care.
Yeah, it's so good.
Like, I'm going to love this. So
I got chills.
Yeah.
Alexander Skarsgard, who I love, if you've seen Big Little Lies, absolutely phenomenal in that show. That character's the worst piece of garbage to ever exist in TV. But he was his performance is remarkable. Godzilla vs. Kong, yeah, sure, he's in that. He's also in the 2014 Godzilla. But he's amazing in Big Little Lies. Adrian Brody, of course, we all know is a world-class actor. So along with the main family, the main cast, we also got a first official poster, which, once I saw this trailer, wait, I'm sorry. This trailer is messed up. Roman and Shiv are on the wrong sides here.
Wait a minute, go back.
Roman and Shiv are supposed to, in the official poster, Roman and Shiv are supposed to switch sides. They messed up the poster.
This is the one that's, in the beginning of Candyman. That's the slightest of damn references that I don't think anyone's gonna get.
I got it because once I saw Roman on Kendall's side, I was like, I lost my mind. Sure, MCU is great. I'll lose my mind over the occasional cameo. But when I saw Roman on Kendall's side, I lost my mind. I was like,
I think they're all kind of teaming up against Big Dad. Like, it seems like that's what some of the trailers are gearing up for. I think.
I'm curious to see where Tom goes. Tom is Matthew McFadden, it's Matthew McFadden, I believe is his name. So good. So everybody's performance. Kieran Culkin, who is now like the main Culkin, my favorite Culkin. I'm forgetting the name of the who plays Shiv. Snook. I think it's like Sarah Snook.
Sarah Snook, yeah.
Sarah Snook. She's great. Everybody is great. The person who plays Jerry, she's great. Brian Cox is great. I can't talk today. Jeremy Strong is great. Everybody's great in the show. I cannot wait. October 17th, people.
You left out Nicholas Braun as cousin Greg.
Oh my God, I forgot Nicholas Braun. I forgot Greg.
Regarding
by the way, California Pizza Kitchen is actually a fine establishment. If you've seen the show, you know what reference I'm making. It's a fine establishment.
Regarding the trailer, I've never really watched Succession. I'm going to now after seeing that trailer. I was watching Real Time last night, and right before Real Time started, the Succession trailer came out. I was like, oh, I've heard such good things about this. And I'm watching, I'm like, holy shit, this theme song is amazing. And I was like, this is like the best theme song I've ever heard. There's so many variations of it,
too. There's so many variations.
It's up there with like Sopranos. Like when I was like, I was just like, this is really good. And I was like, I need to watch the show.
But yeah.
So it got me excited, and I'm agnostic.
We're gonna buy that news. Let's get on to the next piece of news. Let's go through these quickly. Halloween Kills to release in theaters and Peacock on the same day. Sean, I'll go to you first.
Boy, that's a tricky one. That's a buy/sell I'm having a hard time with because on one hand, obviously, all hail theaters. Theaters are all, let us all be theaters.
Yeah, but we also have safety.
Yeah, there's safety going on. Delta's happening. And you know what? Movies are still scary at home. They are. I watched his house last year. Pissed myself on the couch. So it's fine. It's just going to be absolutely fine. So you still can get scared. Obviously, hey, when this all wraps up, everybody go back to theaters every day of your life, please. But until then, this is, I'll buy this. Yeah.
I'm going to sell this news just because I'm sad, because now I know that the movie isn't going to be good. And that makes me sad because I really, really liked the first one.
Hey, the Suicide Squad
not
was
the original.
good, and it was released
That was in a group. That was an umbrella, though.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
This is like
That's fair.
specific. Yeah,
That's fair. That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
And it took them a long time to announce. Like this is less than a month before it's releasing, and it's a Halloween. Obviously, it's called Halloween. It's supposed in theaters. It's October, and now it's releasing on Peacock. Safety, I understand, but now I think I'm going to sell this particularly because now I think the movie's not going to be good, which saddens my heart because again, I love the 2018 Halloween. I have the unpopular opinion that I stated multiple times on the show. I get shit about it all the time. I think it's better than the original Halloween. Yeah,
Okay,
Sean, I saw your eyes. Saw the judgment on your eyes.
Judgment in his eyes. Oh my God! Not again.
Oh.
Somebody quickly get that poster back up. No, I'm kidding.
Don't worry, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. We could put the poster up for reasons a lot more insane than that. But
no,
yeah, so I'm gonna sell that news because of that guy. I'm sorry, I'm just really sad.
Oh, I think I agree with both of you. I understand where Alex is coming from, and I 100% understand where Sean's coming from in regards to it, whether it being good or not, and whether it's safe or not, which I think is you guys have different views on this, judged by those two things. And I really don't know, but I agree with both of you. That's it. Like that's it. Like I think you both have good points.
You wouldn't last a day in succession. Pick a side.
I was complimenting you, damn it.
But yeah, let's get on to the next piece of news. We're gonna get through this quickly because I don't even know what's on here. I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is a popular movie from the 90s about a group of teens who murder someone and are stalked by a killer in a so it's basically like your average horror film with a bunch of very, very perverted teens. I don't know. I guess I'll sell this. I don't care enough to buy or sell. Yeah, I'll sell it.
So I'm saying sell, but I will say, and you wanted to go through this quickly because who cares? But if it's through the perspective of that particular killer, that would be awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now that might incite several horrific behaviors. Like we don't want to sympathize with the killer, but I like the idea of like it's usually through the perspective of the teens. But in this case,
now it's in the lens of the killer.
But anyways, let's get on to the next piece of news. Knives Out 2 has wrapped shooting.
Bye.
Cautious buy. The first one was
fair.
so good.
That is fair. That is a fair point.
Sean, I
agree with that. Because there is that twin thing that they're doing. I don't know if that's going to be good.
I think it's going to be really good.
I don't know about that.
Great.
Listen, I'm like first in line because I adored the first one, but I always have a deep mistrust of sequels.
Exactly. Sean, I heard the news that you were going to be in Knives Out 2, which is great to hear.
Joe and I have been cast in Knives Out too, as well as several other humans, and then most office supplies.
So great to hear. Obviously,
you guys
don't have to tell us anymore.
I'll be like the background in the family. I'm like, hey, we have a hot dog. Then I do a backflip out of a window.
No, there'll be just like an angle of like Dave Bautista talking. You just see Sean in the corner, just like doing that. Like
they put me behind Dave Bautista. I'm like Mike Wazowski, just always like, hey.
But let's get to the next piece of news. Nick Cage said, quote, "I'm never going to retire."
All right, I'm going to say I buy that as a truth, but that doesn't mean I buy it.
I buy it in both senses.
I'm selling it, and this is why. Yeah. This is a dumb announcement. Like he's not that old. Like this is like just like I'm not good. Like if he said he was going to retire, that would be a big deal. That would be newsworthy. I'm never going to retire. It's like first of all, I don't believe anybody that says anything about them retiring or now
at that age.
Like just like Daniel Day-Lewis is like he is pretty damn intense, so I would believe him. But like Daniel Day-Lewis. Like he's gonna come back again for something. Whenever an actor retires, maybe. But whenever like an actor retires, I always think, what's the price? What's the project? Like they'll come back for one of those two things. Jack Nicholson retired, came back for The Departed, then did Bucket List, and then retired promptly after that. And so then
I think he actually retired then.
His last movie was like it's like called How Do You Know? I think it was like directed by James L. Brooks. James L. Brooks. Yeah.
Oh, that movie! I saw that in theaters. To appease my sister. chapter.
I know.
I'll never survive again.
Yeah.
But anyways, next piece of news. Don't worry, darling. Olivia Wilde's next, obviously, her directorial debut was Booksmart, which is widely loved by audiences. Her next film, Don't Worry, Darling, which is a thriller horror film starring Harry Styles, Florence Pugh, some other people.
Oh, nice. It's a good actress.
We got the first teaser, Sean.
Well, here's my awkward moment. I actually didn't watch the teaser, but I will say Olivia Wilde movie. It's like absolutely. I'd love to see the sophomore. Well, I don't want to say sophomore slump. That's not the right word. But her next turn after Booksmart, because I know some people are a little bit iffy about Booksmart. I know that got like some weird backlash towards it. Not weird, if everyone can have their opinion, but it got some sudden backlash that felt unwarranted, in my opinion. And so I feel like this could be great. That last movie was just truly wonderful. So I'm ready for her to try something. Plus, she took some time in between, which, I mean, obviously COVID, but she took some time in between. So I think there's definitely something there.
She took some time?
No, she took some time. She didn't go to jail.
Yeah.
She's not
she did some time in between. She was able to repent for the sins of Booksmart. For not having a male lead in the movie. I'm not doing that. That's not really what it. No, that wasn't.
Is that really what it was?
No, that wasn't.
No, okay.
I'm being a little bit overcorrective now. I shouldn't do that.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's bad. Backlash.
But
it's not a good reason to be mad.
It's me being horrifically insecure about my opinions. I need to stop that.
Let's get to the next piece of news. I'm assuming this is gonna be just all we have to say it on 3. The Boys season 3 has been renewed. 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
But I thought that was already...
it wrapped. No, season.
Sorry, it wrapped. Yeah. What did I say?
Wrapped. You said
what
renewed.
did I say?
You said renewed. Which it most likely
Boys
you're right
season,
about that, Alex. You're most likely right about that too.
Yes,
that is true.
Bye.
Fucking they're also
bye.
They're bringing in a new character. They're bringing in a new character. I can't forget. I'm not familiar with
Captain America
comics.
knockoff.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot. It's Freedom. It's Freedom Fighter. I think it's something like that. I'm guessing.
But yeah, so let's get to the next piece of news. Let's try to get through this quickly, but again, Denis Villeneuve said, quote, Marvel movies are cut and paste and has turned audiences into zombies. Let me just say quickly, I'm going to sell this news just because he can have his opinion, great. But this feels like a Martin Scorsese thing where it's like a promotional stunt for his movie.
The Irishman stunt.
Where it's like, oh, this director doesn't like a Marvel movie. Let's see if his movie is any better. Like, it's just he says this right before his movie is coming out. It seems like a promotional stunt. So in that sense, I'll sell it. Sean?
I'm going to sell this for because that stuff annoys me. Those opinions annoy me because, I will say if you want to take it there, all movies are copies of each other. If these movies were in separate studios, it wouldn't be as noticed. It would just be considered genres. And but unfortunately we have this gigantic Marvel machine, which, some could argue is a little bit annoying, but that's the reason why people see them as copies of each other because of them all having the Marvel logo beforehand and them all interacting. The real problem I have though, is people, I want to just talk to the journalists that are important enough to get in front of directors. Stop asking about Marvel movies. Okay. Yeah. Stop asking directors that aren't doing Marvel movies about Marvel movies. It's like this. It happened to Scorsese. It keeps happening to Scorsese.
It's also like, you really think Scorsese would direct a Marvel movie? No, he wouldn't. Don't ask him about it.
It's just this. It's this. I don't want to use
maybe a Kingpin movie,
but it's like clickbait. It really is clickbait. Where they're just they want to do that because they know that someone like Denis will But I am excited to see Denis' completely original, not based on anything movie Dune.
Oh, you mean the best movie ever? The best movie ever, Dune?
Greatest movie I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm seeing it in a couple of weeks. But greatest movie I've ever seen. I already decided.
Yeah. Let me just say, I think it's. I hate it when directors do this because I think it's rude. I just think it's rude. People work hard on these movies, and for some reason they think that they're entitled to be disrespectful to someone who worked hard on this movie. You look at Endgame, you look at films like that. There's a lot of care put into those, and you can tell. You can tell by the writing, just generally everything. And I think he's a great director, but I do think at the same time. Why are you? I know it's promote. Why are you doing this? It's just it's so opportunistic.
And also, going off what Sean said, the clickbait thing. thing. They did the same thing with Emily Blunt with the Fantastic Four thing, but her response was perfect. She basically just said, "Hey, why are you asking me about Fantastic Four? I'm like promoting my movie, so please don't ask about that," which is the perfect response.
That was a good response.
In fairness, though, that movie was Jungle Cruise, so they ran out of questions pretty quick.
But yeah, I mean, I just feel that's fair. But I just think that, like, I hate the way a lot of these actors are like, we like real film, we like real cinema, and da-da-da-da-da, and that Marvel is not real film, real cinema, or even like any superhero film in general. And I just think that's just not right. I mean, you have stuff like The Dark Knight, you have stuff like Joker, you have, I'd say The Suicide Squad is like my favorite comic book movie now. I love that film. And it's great. It stands on its own. It's not like everything else. It's actually very unique and different. Shang-Chi, incredible movie. And it also stands on its own, I feel. So I just think it's rude. I don't think it's...
I would even say, like, you know what? They do have a familiar structure. They have a first act.
They do.
Like, and then a third act where there's a big final battle. And like that's called movies. 3-act structure. I bet you do have that crap.
And like, you don't see any director complaining about the Western, complaining about how Western had literally. Don't get me wrong, I love
or the gangster films.
But
films. You never hear them complain about that, but you hear them complain about.
I got to be honest. To shut down a genre the way a lot of famous directors are doing, it's going to go like I worry, and this is not going to happen. This is like some sort of like weird hot take I have, but like superhero movies could eventually go the way of the rom-com. Rom-coms used to be like great in the 80s and 90s. Some of the best movies were rom-coms, and then all of a sudden like now they're considered fodder. Oh God,
that's a terrific movie. It's a good movie.
But then with people turned their noses up at them and and then all of a sudden they started to go away and they said, fine, we'll be just trash. And I'm not saying that's how the superhero movies are going to go, but that's how when you disrespect a genre, you lose a huge corner of film. And
yeah, for sure. So that is going to end it. We had a lot of news today, a lot of news. So before we leave us, Sean, where can everyone find you?
You could find my amazing Denis Villeneuve new takes on Math Teacher Movies on Instagram. Also, we have a podcast, Guy at the Movies, and I have a podcast called The Guy at the Movies Podcast with Joe and Sean. It's on live at 7 on Tuesdays, and then it is released on Wednesday morning, unless we change those 2 days, which we do every single week. Also, Awards Watch on GuyAtTheMovies.com.
And Guy?
Super _hero _movie _fan 77. You can find me there, or you can find me here at the League of Cinephiles.
Yeah, and then of course the League of Cinephiles on Instagram.
Oh.
Damn it! When we were talking about Cry Macho, I promised myself I would bring this. I remember to emphasize my love of Clint Eastwood. I was gonna use this as a prop, and I just remembered about it now.
Well, that would have been funny.
In Cry Macho, he can fold just like that. You just,
So that's a great place to leave off. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe, hit that bell icon to get notified on all our latest film-related competition. Follow the individuals in the video right now on their respective accounts. The links for those will be down in the description below. So thank you for watching, everybody. We'll be back with you next week. Ciao.
Woo!